Greetings ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Video Game Hub. As always, I am Dave LeClaire, gaming editor for MakeUseOf.com, and I'm here to take you through the top 3 stories from the world of video games. So let's kick it off with our third story right away, and that is that Infinite Crisis is now in open beta. Before, the game was available for people who were invited, but now you can actually go to the website, you can download the game, and you can play it for free. So what's Infinite Crisis, you ask? Well, it's actually a MOBA based with DC characters, so it's a game kind of like Dota or League of Legends, but instead of your heroes set in a fantasy type setting, you have Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, all those characters. So it's actually kind of a cool concept. Now the gameplay, I only played a little bit of it. I sat down and played 2 or 3 games before shooting, and it was alright. I'm a big Dota fan. I've probably played 2,000 games of Dota, so it's definitely a change from the Dota format. Especially one of the maps was round. Instead of having 3 lanes, it had 2 around the outside, and it was way more focused on fighting. There was a lot less of that farming phase, and that could just be the way people are playing the game now because it's still pretty new, but it was definitely just people jumping in and fighting it out. So that's a pretty big change. You'll see the trailer for it playing behind me right now. They released a new one. It definitely looks like it could be a promising MOBA, but it's entering a very competitive space with 2 juggernauts in League of Legends and Dota 2 that completely have that market locked down. Now you have Blizzard coming in with Heroes of the Storm, so that is a very tight game to get into. It's going to be a tough road for Infinite Crisis, but with DC characters behind it, it at least has a fighting chance, right? Alright, moving on to our number 2 story this week. Now if you follow the gaming world at all, you're probably familiar with a little website known as Twitch. It's a website that lets gamers stream themselves out to the world, and it's grown massively popular, especially in the competitive gaming scene. And now the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 have actually built Twitch right into the system. You can simply say Xbox Broadcast, you're broadcasting, you hit the share button on the PS4 controller, and you're broadcasting. It's really easy. Well, it looks like that's actually coming to iOS now, at least in one game from Gameloft. Asphalt 8 is going to be bringing integrated Twitch streaming right into the game through the app. It will use your microphone to broadcast the chat and the front-facing camera on an iPhone to show the person. Now, of course, that changes quite a bit compared to normal. Normally, your Kinect would be stationary, or your PlayStation camera would be stationary in one place. With an iPhone, you're going to be moving the phone around, and it's easy to see that that might present some issues because you're also moving the camera that is looking at you around. So it may not be a perfect viewing experience, but it is a big step in the right direction because iPhone gaming is constantly growing. And this is another step that reminds people that, hey, iPhone gaming is here to stay, Android as well. This just happens to be starting on iPhone. Mobile gaming, we'll call it. So this is another big step in that direction. I mean, you're gonna have the ability to broadcast yourself playing this game, and if one game does it, you know it's not gonna be long until other companies do it. Gameloft is jumping in, then you know EA is gonna jump in, and then the smaller developers are gonna jump in. And before we know it, Twitch streaming from an iOS device might be just as big as Twitch streaming from home consoles and PC. It's gonna take some time, but it's definitely a big change, and it's cool news for people who wanna show themselves off playing. Before we get to our number 1 story, it's time for me to give you a t-shirt again. You guys seemed to enjoy that last week, so here we go again. Take a look at this image playing right now. Tell me what game it's from, not what character it is, specifically what game is this character from, and if you're right, you win yourself a free MakeUseOf t-shirt. Either comment here on YouTube or on the post at MakeUseOf. Winners will be put into a drawing, and you'll get a shirt if your name is picked. Simple as that. And with that, it is time to move on to our number 1 story this week, and that is that Gauntlet is coming back. Now, anyone who's played a lot of old school games has probably heard of Gauntlet. It's a 4-player co-op hack-and-slash dungeon crawler game. Not like Diablo, but kind of similar to Diablo before Diablo. It's a lot more simple. There's a lot less to it. There wasn't as many spells. There wasn't the loot element. It was more just about making it to the end. Well, it is coming back this summer, and it's coming to Steam. But not only Steam on PC, no. Steam on SteamOS as well, which means it will have full support for Linux. It's one of the few games we've seen announced that's going all in on the Steam platform, including SteamOS. So that's definitely a big step. Now, as far as the game goes, it's going to have 4 playable classes: the Warrior, the Wizard, the Valkyrie, and the Elf. It's coming this summer, which is quite soon, only a couple months away, so we'll actually be playing this game before we know it. And it will have 4-player local and online co-op, which means you can actually play the game with your friends, whether they're in the same room with you or whether they are across the world. Now this is actually perfect for SteamOS because SteamOS is being billed as the gaming PC for your living room. So what better way to show that off than with a game that's designed with 4-player co-op in mind? What better way to get your friends in the room and have a blast making your way through the dungeon? Now this is also important to note that this game is from the people who made Magicka, which was a fantastic game, but a very different game from Gauntlet. It's way more magic focused. Gauntlet was a lot more simple. So it'll be interesting to see if they put their own twist on the game or if they try to stick with the Gauntlet formula. You see the video of it playing behind me, but that doesn't necessarily give you the greatest idea of what the game is until we get our hands on it. But it definitely looks promising and is one we are most certainly looking forward to playing when it drops this summer. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. This episode of Video Game Hub is officially being brought to a close. I am Dave LeClaire, gaming editor for MakeUseOf.com. I appreciate you taking the time to hang out and watch the show. Don't forget about the t-shirt contest a little earlier. Make sure to click the rewind button if you missed that part. Also, make sure to click the subscribe button right here so that you never miss another episode of Video Game Hub. And also, if you're feeling generous, why don't you like this video? Because that would help me out a great deal and it would make me happy. You want to make me happy, don't you? Of course you do. See you next week.